today. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Boy, it took a while for that windshield to defrost this morning.
Yes, so definitely some heavy frost outside. Very, very cold. Temperatures in the single digits and the teens.
Yeah, those poor kids out at the bus stop this morning.
I know, but it will warm up. It'll reach the 30s, and then even tomorrow and Friday, we will warm up a little bit more. Yeah, so let's take a look at now this morning. I would definitely give myself a little extra time to get the car defroster on, maybe use the car starter, because we are seeing a heavier band of frost outside, and it is very, very, very cold to start. Temperatures in the single digits and teens. We haven't really seen this in a while, I would say. Just 5 degrees in Inlet, 11 degrees in Westmoreland, and 12 degrees in Whitesboro. But we are tracking dry conditions on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, and it will remain dry today, and it will warm up. Today's high temperatures look to reach right around freezing, maybe a little bit above freezing this afternoon. It's very similar to yesterday. We are just starting out very, very chilly. So we start out with clear skies, some sunshine, very cold. It's going to be breezy today, and we will warm up. Also see an increase in cloud cover. I will be talking a little bit more about unsettled weather coming in tomorrow. Coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thank you. Let's get right to it now. Utica police are on the
Welcome back. It's going to be very cold this morning, but calm winds to start. The wind does pick up a little bit to breezy conditions this afternoon, so it is going to feel up to 10 degrees cooler than the actual temperature at times, as we are breezy and high temperatures are just around maybe a little bit above freezing. But we are going to be seeing sunshine this morning. Clouds increase into this afternoon, and it does remain overcast for tomorrow and Friday as unsettled weather comes in. It looks to start out as a wintry mix early tomorrow afternoon, and then rain for tomorrow later in the day into Friday, with some snow on the back end later Friday. We do have sunshine then returning for Saturday and Sunday, but it is going to get pretty windy. Breezy conditions today and windy conditions come in as the system moves through for Thursday, Friday, and then leftover wind on Saturday. Gary.
Thank you. As soon as President Biden met with his regional
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out with clear skies this morning, and it is very, very cold with temperatures in the single digits and teens. Let's take a look now at the CATV tower camera overlooking the city of Utica. Clear skies and dry conditions to start, and that is what's making it very cold, because we did see mostly clear skies overnight. So right now we are in the single digits to teens, just 5 degrees in Inlet and Big Moose, 12 degrees in Whitesboro, 11 degrees in Westmoreland, and looking to the south, 16 degrees in Hamilton, Sherburne, and Skanevis. We haven't really seen this cold weather in a while, I would say, but we are going to warm up today. High temperatures are going to be very similar to yesterday, right around freezing. And it also is going to be dry, so if you are heading out the door this morning, I would just be careful for some frost right now. It is going to be sunny as the sun rises, and we will see an increase in clouds for the afternoon, but it will remain dry. This is our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, and seeing a little bit of a breeze coming out of the north, so it may feel a little bit cooler at times, especially this afternoon. Things do change tomorrow. Unsettled weather comes in due to a low pressure system. It does start out as a warm front that brings in a wintry mix to start, very little snow accumulation, then heavy rain for tomorrow night into Friday morning, and some snow on the back end on Friday with, once again, very little accumulation. Dry conditions and sunshine do return for the weekend. It does still remain on the cooler side with highs in the 20s on Saturday and just around freezing for Sunday, but the good news is that we are going to be seeing sunshine. Overall, a pleasant weekend for January. But let's take a look at that unsettled weather expected to come in tomorrow. As for today, we will reach right near freezing, and we will see an increase in clouds this afternoon for mostly cloudy skies this evening. It will remain mostly cloudy overnight with the low just falling into the upper 20s. Tomorrow we start out dry with cloudy conditions, and then tomorrow early afternoon, as you can see here, this is 11 a.m., starting out with some snow and then a wintry mix. Then we see heavy rain approach as a warm front moves through. That brings our temperature above freezing. It's right near 40 degrees, and that looks to continue overnight into Friday morning. As you can see here, it's still raining Friday morning. Throughout the day on Friday, we will start to see that rain move out. Temperatures are going to reach the 40s, and then a cold front moves through. That brings in cooler weather and some snow on the back end. But for today, dry conditions, sunshine to start, then an increase in cloud cover. Temperatures will warm up and we will remain in the upper 20s overnight, still breezy overnight. Throughout this whole event, it's going to get pretty windy, especially tomorrow and Friday. Once again, starting out as a wintry mix, then some rain. Rain continues for Friday morning with some snow on the back end and cooler weather for the weekend, Gary.
Bundle up this morning.
Yes, very, very chilly out this morning, single digits for some of us.
Yeah, good day to have that car starter for
Yes.
sure. Hannah, thank you. The time now is 5:22. Coming up things for this half hour, I'm Gary Libertor.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Hannah Evans.
And if you haven't been outside yet, probably not, it is very bitter.
Yes, very cold. We're in the single digits and teens, so heavy frost to start. And it will warm up. It will warm up tomorrow and Friday too with some unsettled weather coming in.
Start that car.
Yes, definitely start the car this morning. Let's take a look now. If you are heading out the door, I would definitely start the car, maybe give myself a little extra time, use the defroster because we are seeing heavier frost because it did get very cold last night. And this is the first time we're seeing this in a while. Temperatures in the single digits and teens, just 5 degrees in Inlet, 12 degrees in Westmoreland and Whitesboro. But we are dry this morning on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, and we will remain dry today and we will warm up, which is good. High temperatures are very similar to yesterday, reaching right around freezing, maybe a little bit more. So for today, expect sunny skies to start. Then we will see an increase in cloud cover, breezy conditions with highs around freezing. And then we'll be talking a little bit more about some unsettled weather coming in tomorrow. Coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thank you. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast, never more than 10 minutes away. New this morning, Ellen DeGeneres.
Welcome back. Very, very cold start this morning. Definitely have the car starter ready. We are in the teens and single digits. Just 5 degrees in Inlet, 12 degrees in Westmoreland, 14 degrees in Richfield Springs. But we will warm up today. High temperatures are looking to reach the lower to mid 30s. And same thing goes for tomorrow. Unsettled weather looks to come in tomorrow. First starting out as a snow and wintry mix, then changing over to rain as we warm up, as a warm front moves through. And we remain warm on Friday, but then a cold front moves through and that drops our temperature for the weekend, especially on Saturday. Highs are just going to be in the 20s. So I would say when traveling tomorrow, maybe a little bit tricky. We are going to be dry tomorrow morning, but then tomorrow early afternoon, wintry mix looks to come in. That changes over to all heavy rain for the evening and heavy rain overnight. That rain then changes over to a few light snow showers into Friday afternoon. So we will keep you updated on this, but very little snow accumulation is expected. Gary.
Chilly over there, Hannah.
Yes, it is.
Now to the latest on that massive strike by
Central New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are tracking clear skies this morning and very cold weather to start. We will warm up a little bit more today. Let's take a look now at the Cavie Tower camera overlooking the city of Utica. Once again, clear skies, temperatures in the single digits and teens, but we will warm up and also see an increase in clouds heading into the afternoon. But definitely be prepared when heading outside. There isn't a layer of frost out on the car windshields. I would definitely maybe use the car starter or defrost the car a little bit before leaving. We are in the single digits and teens, and we haven't really seen this in a while. Just 13 degrees in Whitesboro, 12 degrees in Westmoreland, 5 degrees in Inlet, and looking to the south, we have 16 degrees in Schenevus and in Hamilton. But we will warm up today. Highs are going to reach around freezing. So if you are heading out the door, we will be seeing dry conditions, sunshine and frost this morning. But then for the evening, we are going to be seeing cloud cover. An increase in clouds will happen throughout the day in preparation for unsettled weather tomorrow. But we are going to remain dry. This is our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. I just see a little bit of a breeze from the north, making it feel a little bit cooler at times than the actual temperature. Tomorrow, unsettled weather comes in. It does start out as a wintry mix with very little snow accumulation to start. Then it turns over to heavy rain as we warm up due to a warm front. Heavy rain will persist Thursday night into Friday morning. Then the cold front moves through, drops our temperature, and brings in some snow on the back end. Little accumulation is expected once again with cooler weather and dry conditions for Saturday. So for the weekend, it is going to be much cooler, especially Saturday with highs just in the 20s, right around freezing on Sunday. But the good news is that we are going to be seeing sunshine, so pretty pleasant, I would say, for January. But let's take a look at that unsettled weather on our Skycast. Today, we will be dry, pretty nice day. We will be seeing sunshine this morning, then an increase in clouds this afternoon with highs reaching the mid-30s. Tonight, we will remain in the upper 20s, not looking to drop in temperature too much. And we start out tomorrow morning dry with clouds, with a wintry mix looking to come in later in the morning, early afternoon. As we can see here, this is 11 a.m. And then that will turn into heavy rain tomorrow later afternoon. We are looking at our Skycast here, heavier rain with some snow in the Adirondacks. That rain does persist overnight into Friday morning. This is early Friday morning, still seeing heavy rain, but our temperature is still way above freezing, right around 40 degrees. We reach the upper 40s Friday afternoon, and then it quickly drops to below freezing due to that cold front, and some snow is possible on the back end. So for today, expect dry conditions, sunshine to start. Then we see an increase in cloud cover, a little bit breezy with cloudy skies overnight, and it remains breezy. Throughout this event, tomorrow and Friday, it's actually going to remain windy as well. Once again, starting as a wintry mix, then rain comes in for tomorrow night and Friday. Then we will be seeing some snow on the back end later on Friday, with sunshine returning on the weekend, Gary.
Bundle those kids up this morning.
Yes, definitely really, really cool to start. And we haven't seen it for a while, so it's feeling extra cold.
Yeah, it is bitter out there.
Yes.
Hannah, thank you. The time now is 5:51.
Tracker 2 meteorologist Hannah Evans.
January 11th already.
Yes, I know. It's the middle of January.
Oh, it seems like it was just New Year's Eve.
Yes, it was, I think. But we're waking up very cold this morning, so I would say today's weather is going to be much more like January. I know we've been really warm, but we're waking up freezing this morning.
Yeah, it took a while to warm up that windshield.
Yeah, so it's hard to get used to because we haven't seen this in a while. So this morning, I would definitely recommend using the car starter or the defroster because there is heavier frost outside. Temperatures last night did drop into the single digits for some of us, and we really haven't seen this in a while, so it is going to feel extra cold this morning. Just 5 degrees in Inlet, 12 degrees in Westmoreland, and 13 degrees in Whitesboro. But the good news is that we will remain dry. This is our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, tracking dry conditions and a warm up. We will warm up to just around freezing, very similar to yesterday, and we will see an increase in cloud cover. So we are starting off this morning very cold with sunshine. Then we will see an increase in cloud cover with highs around freezing, a little bit breezy, and I will be talking a little bit more about unsettled weather coming in tomorrow. Coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thank you. Let's get right to it now. Utica police are on the hunt for.
Welcome back. We are starting out very chilly this morning, but no wind speed yet. The wind does pick up today. It is going to be breezy, so we will warm up a little bit, but it is going to feel up to 10 degrees cooler because of those breezy conditions and how cold it's going to be. It's going to be just around freezing. We are going to be getting breaks in the clouds for sunshine, especially this morning, but then we will see an increase in cloud cover into this afternoon, and it remains cloudy for tomorrow and Friday as we see unsettled weather. But that clears out for the weekend, and we see sunshine return for both Saturday and Sunday. But with this unsettled weather, it will get windy on Thursday and Friday, and it will remain windy into Saturday. And I will get a little bit more into this unsettled weather coming up. Gary.
Hannah, thank you. As soon as President Biden met with his regional counterparts in Mexico City yesterday to talk.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out very cold this morning, but we will warm up today and over the next 2 days. Let's take a look now at the Cavie Tower camera overlooking the city of Utica. Clear skies to start. We are very, very cold, so I recommend using the car starter because we are also seeing frost outside. We will warm up today to just around freezing, but our sky watchers have us very cold. This is actually supposed to say just 5 degrees in Old Forge. I wish it was 55. 13 degrees in Deerfield and 9 degrees in Westdale. Looking to the south, still in the teens, 17 degrees in Milford and in Edmiston. High temperatures today will reach right around freezing, but if you are heading out the door this morning, there are areas of frost, especially on the windshields. We will be seeing sunny skies with an increase in clouds into the evening, but it will remain dry. Here is our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Once again, dry conditions today with just a little bit of a breeze picking up, so it may feel a little bit cooler. Unsettled weather looks to come in tomorrow. It does start out as a wintry mix with a little bit of snow. Very little accumulation is expected. But then a warm front moves through that warms us up, and that brings in heavy rain for tomorrow night into into Friday morning. Then that cold front moves through Friday afternoon, and that drops our temperature and brings in a little bit of snow on the back end. Dry weather comes back in on Saturday, but it is going to be much cooler. Highs on Saturday just in the 20s and around freezing on Sunday. But I would say overall a pleasant weekend for January because we will be seeing some sunshine and dry conditions. But let's take another look at that unsettled weather that's supposed to come in. As for today, we are going to warm up to around freezing, and we will see an increase in cloud cover this afternoon for cloudy skies this afternoon and evening. Tonight, we will remain mostly cloudy with a low in the upper 20s. We start out tomorrow morning dry with mostly cloudy skies. Then tomorrow in the morning, I would say later in the morning, we start to see some snow and some mixed precipitation coming in. Sleet, freezing rain is possible at this time. Tomorrow later in the afternoon, evening, that is when we see this turn into heavy rain as the warm front approaches and warms us up. That heavy rain does continue into Friday overnight, early Friday morning. This is 4 a.m. Still seeing heavy rain at that time. We really warm up on Friday. Highs are going to be in the upper 40s, but then that cold front moves through very quickly, dropping our temperature as you can see here, and some snow is possible on the back end, little accumulation. So for today, expect sunshine, dry conditions, increasing cloud cover for the afternoon, and it is going to be breezy. Tonight we will remain breezy with overnight lows falling into the upper 20s. The unsettled weather looks to start tomorrow. It gets windy at this time too for tomorrow and Friday. Wintry mix to start, then rain Thursday night into Friday morning. Then the temperature drops and some snow comes in on the back end. Sunshine, but cooler weather comes in for the weekend, Gary.
Bundle those kids up this morning, boy.
Yes, very cold. We haven't seen it in a while too, so it's feeling extra cold.
That's for sure. Hannah, thanks. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Our Libertor.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Hannah Evans.
And we've been talking about it all morning long, but bundle those kids up this morning. It is bitter out.
Yes, it's very, very cold this morning. We're in the single digits and teens, and we haven't seen it in a while, so that's probably why it's feeling so cold.
It does feel cold.
So this morning, I would definitely recommend using the car starter or the defroster. We are seeing some frost outside as well. I would give myself a little bit extra time to kind of get out the door this morning or to drive my car and make sure everything is defrosted and warmed up before you leave. But because we are very, very cold. Single digits and teens to start, just 5 degrees in Inlet, 13 degrees in Westmoreland, and 12 degrees in Whitesboro. But the good news is that we are tracking dry conditions. This is our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Dry conditions will continue today, and we will warm up with high temperatures reaching right around freezing, and that looks to be later this afternoon. We will start out this morning with sunshine, then we will see an increase in cloud cover. It's also going to get a little bit breezy, but it will get warmer. And then we'll be talking a little bit more about unsettled weather coming in tomorrow. Coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thank you. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast, never more than 10 minutes away. New this morning.
Welcome back. Very, very cold this morning. Make sure you bundle up or maybe even use the car starter. Just 5 degrees in Inlet, 17 degrees in Little Falls, and 15 degrees in Richfield Springs. But we will warm up today. We will reach right around freezing, and we will warm up a little bit more tomorrow as a warm front starts to move through. So we will start out as a wintry mix tomorrow, then rain as we really warm up for Friday, followed by snow on the back end. We are going to be seeing cooler weather and dry conditions return for the weekend. So tomorrow, if you are commuting anywhere, it should be fine in the morning. Early afternoon, we start to see a wintry mix. And then in the evening, that's when we start to see that heavy rain. It remains heavy all overnight into Friday morning before some snow comes in Friday afternoon. But at this point, any snow we see doesn't look to cause much accumulation. Gary.
Hannah, thank you. Now to the latest on that massive
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out very, very cold this morning, but we will warm up today and over the next 2 days. Let's take a look now at the Cavvy Tower camera overlooking the city of Utica. Clear skies to start, and they remained cleared last night. That's why it got so chilly. We will warm up today, but it is going to get a little bit breezy. All of our sky watchers have us in the single digits and teens, and we haven't seen this in a while, so I think it's feeling a little bit extra chilly outside this morning. Just 2 degrees in Inlet, 13 degrees in Deerfield, and 10 degrees in Clinton. Looking to the south, we have 18 degrees in Cooperstown and 17 degrees in Milford and in Embaston. We will reach right around freezing today for the high temperature, but I think that Nala and her neighbor are a little upset about how cold it is. So Macy today definitely wants you guys Skies to stay warm. She is going to be staying warm inside, looking out the window at the cold. We are going to be seeing sunshine this morning with some frost, but in the afternoon we will see an increase in clouds to cloudy skies and will be a little bit breezy, but it is going to be dry today. This is our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Once again, just a little bit of a breeze picking up for this afternoon, so it may feel a little bit cooler than the actual temperature. We do see unsettled weather start to move in tomorrow. It looks to start out as a wintry mix in the morning, so possibly a little bit of snow, very little accumulation. We are going to be seeing it turn to rain tomorrow, later in the afternoon and evening into Friday morning. That is due to a warm front moving through, and that brings our temperature up. Then the cold front moves through Friday afternoon. The temperature drops, and that brings in just a little bit of snow on the back end, with cooler and drier weather to follow for the weekend. Once again, the weekend looks dry. It looks pretty pleasant, I would say, for January. A little bit chilly on Saturday with highs in the 20s, but we are seeing sunshine and we warm up a little bit more for Sunday. So let's take a look at that unsettled weather on our Skycast. Today, we will reach the lower to mid 30s for the high temperature with an increase in cloud cover this afternoon and evening, and it remains cloudy overnight with not much of a change in temperature. Tomorrow, we start out cloudy and dry. Then later in the morning, we see some snow and some mixed precipitation coming in. We are tracking sleet and freezing rain as the temperature starts to rise. Then heavy rain comes in later in the afternoon through the evening with some snow up in the Adirondacks. The rain continues overnight into Friday morning. As you can see here, still raining pretty hard Friday morning. It then clears out and we really warm up to the upper 40s. Then that cold front approaches, that drops our temperature pretty quickly and brings a little bit of snow on the back end. So for today, expect dry conditions. It gets breezy with an increase in cloud cover, and we will be seeing temperatures just around freezing overnight as well. It gets windy for tomorrow and Friday as that low pressure system approaches us. We see a wintry mix first, then rain Thursday night and Friday morning, early afternoon due to that warm front. Then the cold front moves in, that drops our temperature, brings in some snow on the back end, but we dry out to some sunshine for the weekend, Gary.
So that's good to hear.
Yes, so the weekend looks nice. It's just going to be cold.
Hannah, thank you. The time now is 6:51.
From where the news comes first, this is News Channel 2 at 7 a.m. on CW11.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on this Wednesday morning. I'm Gary Libertor.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Hannah Evans.
And we've been talking about it all morning long. It is chilly out there. Bundle up.
Yes, very, very cold. We're in the teens and single digits, and I think it's feeling extra cold because we haven't seen it.
I know. We haven't seen it in a while, and it does hit you right in the face.
Yes, so it's very, very cold. We will warm up today. Let's take a look now this morning. If you are heading out the door, I would definitely use the car starter or the defroster because we are seeing very, very chilly temperatures. Once again, there is a heavy layer of frost outside this morning. I'll give myself maybe a little extra time to defrost the car or to use the car starter. Temperatures in the single digits and teens, just 5 degrees in Inlet, 12 degrees in Westmoreland, 14 degrees in Whitesboro, but we are remaining dry. This is our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We are expecting dry conditions for today, and we will warm up to just around freezing, and that will happen this afternoon. So for today, expect sunshine and frost to start. We will see an increase in cloud cover. It is going to get a little bit breezy as well, and I will be talking a little bit more about unsettled weather tomorrow coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thank you. Let's get right to it now. Utica police are on the hunt for...
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out with sunny skies this morning and frost, but we will be seeing clouds move in the afternoon. Let's take a look now at the Cavie Tower camera. Should be a nice sunrise to start. We are seeing very, very cold weather with frost, but we will warm up today and we will warm up over the next few days. So if we take a look now at what our sky watchers have this morning, super cold. We haven't seen this in a while, so it's going to feel pretty cold outside. Just 2 degrees in Inlet and 9 degrees in Westdale, 10 degrees in Clinton. Looking to the south, still in the teens, 17 degrees in Milford and in Evanston. So heading out the door this morning, I would maybe give myself a little extra time to defrost the car because we are definitely seeing some frost outside. We are seeing sunny skies and clouds will increase in the afternoon. We will get a little bit warmer with highs around freezing, and we will remain dry all day, so you shouldn't really have any problems with the commute. Dry conditions right now on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We are going to be seeing a little bit of a breeze breeze pick up this afternoon, so it is going to feel a little bit cooler than the actual temperature outside. Unsettled weather looks to come in tomorrow. We do start out as a wintry mix tomorrow later in the morning, and then that will turn to all rain tomorrow evening as a warm front approaches and our temperature warms up. We will remain really warm into Friday through early afternoon, still seeing rain at that time. Then once the cold front moves through, we will be receiving some snow on the back end. Very little accumulation is expected both tomorrow morning and Friday afternoon. We will dry out to cooler weather for the weekend, but overall a pleasant weekend ahead with sunshine and dry conditions. Highs on Saturday just in the 20s, so pretty chilly, and we will reach right around freezing on Sunday once again. But let's take a look now closer at that unsettled weather. Today we are going to be dry, highs reaching around freezing, and we will see an increase in cloud cover this afternoon. Tonight our temperature will not drop too much. We will still remain right around freezing for the overnight low temperature. Dry conditions, cloudy skies to start tomorrow morning. Then tomorrow later in the morning we start to see some snowfall. Sleet and freezing rain also possible with this as we really start to warm up to near 40. And then we will be seeing heavy rain tomorrow later in the afternoon through tomorrow night with some snow in the Adirondacks. The rain continues overnight through Friday morning, and we really warm up on Friday. Highs on Friday will reach the upper 40s around noon, as we can see here. And we will start to see some snow moving in on the back end of this as a cold front moves through Friday afternoon. Now we can see temperatures drop to right around freezing again. Little accumulation is expected from this, but it is going to be a little bit of tricky travel tomorrow. So for today, it's sunshine to start, an increase in cloud cover, getting breezy this afternoon with temperatures remaining just around freezing overnight. Tomorrow and Friday, we also get windy with this system. Wintry mix to start tomorrow, then rain through Friday morning, snow coming in on the back end, and dry weather for the weekend.
Forecast, and it includes some sunshine, right, Hannah?
Yes, we are seeing sunshine at this point. High-level clouds are moving in, and then it will be cloudy by this evening. It's also going to be very chilly today. Right now, we're measuring 27 degrees at the Griffith Park Airport in Rome. It feels 10 degrees cooler, though, because it is very breezy. 11 miles per hour wind speeds coming in at this point, and we are just going to warm up to around freezing today. A little bit warmer tomorrow, and our warmest day of the week looks to be on Friday, but then a cold front moves through, and that drops our temperature for the weekend. Also, we are going to be seeing unsettled weather coming in for tomorrow and Friday, and that actually makes it pretty windy, and the wind looks to remain for Saturday. So we are still seeing weather that is just around average for this time of year. We will slowly start to see an increase in cloud cover, looking to be mostly cloudy by tonight, with unsettled weather coming in for tomorrow. So for today, expect an increase in cloud cover. Highs will be just around freezing. It's going to remain cold and breezy. I will be talking a little bit more about this unsettled weather tomorrow, what it's going to be. Coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thank you. All departing flights.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are tracking sunshine this afternoon, and it is going to remain chilly today with temperatures just around average, also with breezy conditions. Let's take a look now at our Utica National Tower camera overlooking Main Street in Cooperstown. We are seeing some sunshine, but high-level clouds are starting to move in at this point, and we also are going to see low-level clouds move in by later this evening, so it is going to get cloudy throughout the rest of the afternoon. It's also going to remain on the cooler side, so we are just around freezing this point according to our sky watchers, but it's also breezy, making it feel about 10 degrees cooler than the actual temperature. We still are just at 23 degrees in Old Forge, so probably feeling like the lower teens up in Old Forge, 30 degrees in Clinton and Otsego, and 31 degrees in Mohawk. So Nala and her neighbor this morning, Macy, definitely telling you to stay warm. I would mean this afternoon. Definitely telling you to stay warm, but everything should be fine if you are commuting anywhere. We are just going to continue to see an increase in clouds to mostly cloudy skies for this afternoon. I think Macy and Nala will stay inside for today because it is very chilly. On our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, we are tracking dry weather though, and we will remain dry for today. Once again, just a little bit of a breeze coming out of the east. Unsettled weather approaches tomorrow. It does look to start out as a wintry mix with very little snow accumulation, and that looks to start tomorrow later in the morning. Then we'll turn into all rain tomorrow later in the day into Friday morning. That's due to a warm front approaching, bringing in warmer weather. Then the cold front passes through, bringing in some snow on the back end Friday afternoon. At this point, it looks like very little to no accumulation, but we will keep you updated on that. And cooler and drier weather to follow for the weekend. The weekend, I would say, is looking pretty nice for January. We are going to be seeing sunshine for both days. A little bit cold on Saturday with highs just in the 20s, but we warm up a little bit more on Sunday to highs around freezing. Let's take a look at that unsettled weather tomorrow on our Skycast. Now, for the rest of today, we will see an increase in cloud cover for mostly cloudy skies by dinner. And tonight, we will remain mostly cloudy, overnight lows only falling to around freezing. Tomorrow, we stay cloudy in the morning, then some snow and a wintry mix looks to come in later in the morning. Sleet and freezing rain is possible. Then heavy rain is to follow throughout the rest of the afternoon and evening and overnight. Into Friday morning, we are still seeing heavy rain at times. We really warm up on Friday due to that warm front, and then very quickly that cold front moves through, drops our temperature, and brings in a few light snow showers on the back end of this whole system. So for today, expect an increase in cloud cover, getting a bit breezy, and we will remain breezy overnight with cloudy skies and low temperatures not falling too much from the high today. We get very windy for tomorrow and Friday as this system is moving through. Starts as a wintry mix tomorrow morning, then rain tomorrow later in the day through Friday morning, snow on the back end Friday evening, and drier weather to follow for the weekend. Gary.
Hannah, thank you. Now to that monster storm pounding the entire state of California. Experts say the extreme weather is fueled in part by climate change. NBC's Miguel Almaguer is in Chatworth, California this noon with more.
This morning, Californians waking up to more destruction from that monster storm, with the Bay Area bracing for even more torrential rain today. San Francisco already pounded by lightning strikes and hail. Cities usually bathed in sunshine like Los Angeles, Santa Barbara, and Montecito deluged with flash floods and mudslides. Stranded residents pulled to safety.
It was like 2 feet of mud and water coming down the street and out of the houses, so it was pretty scary.
These disasters killing at least 17 so far. That's more deaths than in California's wildfires in the last 2 years. This morning, authorities also resuming their search for missing 5-year-old boy Kyle Doan. Doan was stuck with his mother, who was rescued in their submerged car Monday when rising floodwaters swept him away. The state's beautiful beaches now strewn with storm debris. In LA's Tony Hollywood Hills, home to multi-million-dollar homes, trees toppling onto cars, streets looking like rivers. The famed Mulholland Drive temporarily closing as hillsides began to collapse. These historic storms, drenching San Francisco to San Diego, are some of the worst California has seen in 80 years. Experts say partially to blame climate change, with the past 8 years the warmest ever on record.
What that means for us is that the atmosphere is able to hold more moisture. So these storms can be bigger, there can be more rain in them, and they're more punctuated.
But scientists say all the rain won't solve the West's devastating drought because the already waterlogged Earth can't absorb it all. Now, with an enormous cyclone storm predicted to hit the Bay Area today, the forecast calls for more damage and widespread destruction.
NBC's Miguel Almaguer reporting from California. Coming up, a look back at the weather in this half hour. Once again, here is meteorologist Hannah Evans.
We are tracking clouds moving in at this point, but still seeing some sunshine, and it is going to remain cooler and breezy today. Right now, we are measuring 27 degrees at the Griffith Park Airport in Rome, and it feels 10 degrees cooler. So it is feeling pretty chilly outside in the teens for most of us, and that is because we are seeing quite a breeze happening at this point. We are going to warm up to right around freezing today, getting even a little bit warmer tomorrow, and Friday is our warmest day of the week. A cold front then moves through and drops our temperatures for the weekend. It also is going to get pretty windy, so today is breezy. Even tomorrow, Friday and Saturday, it's going to be getting a little bit windier, so keep that in mind. It's going to feel a little bit cooler than the actual temperature outside. Our cold weather continues just around average for this time of year. Clouds really start to increase this afternoon because unsettled weather is coming in for tomorrow. So for today, expect an increase in cloud cover. Highs around freezing with breezy conditions. And I will be talking a little bit more about that unsettled weather coming in tomorrow. Coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thank you. If you are traveling by air
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are tracking chilly and breezy weather today, and we also are going to be seeing an increase in cloud cover. Let's take a look now at our Utica National Tower camera overlooking Main Street in Cooperstown. The sun is not really shining as brightly as it was this morning. High-level clouds have moved in. Along with low-level clouds starting to move in, it is going to be mostly cloudy by this evening, and that's in preparation for some unsettled weather moving in tomorrow. We are also pretty chilly, just around average for this time of year, but it's breezy outside. So sky watchers have us in the 20s to 30s, just 23 degrees in Old Forge, and it feels about 10 degrees cooler, so feeling like the lower teens in Old Forge. 30 degrees in Clinton and Otsego, and 29 degrees in Cassville. Breezy conditions will continue today, but we will remain dry. This is our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, and that breeze is coming in from the east, making it feel about 10 degrees cooler than the actual temperature. But we will remain dry with a light snow shower, mixed precipitation starting to come in tomorrow later in the morning. Then a warm front approaches that will bring in heavier rain tomorrow night into Friday morning. After that warm front, a cold front moves through. That drops our temperature on Friday afternoon, and that brings in some light snow showers on the back end. Overall, we're not really looking at much accumulation from this system, but we are keeping an eye out on it. We dry out for the weekend, and overall, a pretty nice weekend is expected for January, I will say. We are going to be seeing sunshine for both days. A little bit cooler on Saturday, highs in the 20s, but we warm up a little bit more on Sunday. So let's take a closer look at that unsettled weather. Today, we are going to continue to see an increase in cloud cover. Temperatures dropping into the 20s around dinner time. At this point, it will be mostly cloudy, and it will remain around the same temperature overnight, just around freezing. We will start out cloudy and dry tomorrow morning. Tomorrow later in the morning, starting to see a few snow showers moving in here. Sleet and freezing rain also possible. Then tomorrow later in the afternoon, we start to see heavier rain showers move through, especially around dinner time. That looks to continue overnight into Friday morning. We really warm up on Friday, highs near 50 degrees. And then that cold front will move through. That will move through in the afternoon, dropping our temperature to around freezing on Friday and bring in some light snow showers after that. So for today, expect dry conditions. Clouds will increase. It will remain breezy, and it will remain breezy overnight as well, as we remain just around the same temperature. It is going to get windy tomorrow and Friday. Mixed precipitation at first, then rain comes in Thursday night and Friday morning. Light snow showers come in Friday afternoon and evening, and then we dry out to sunshine for the weekend. Gary.
Hannah, thanks. Class is back in session at the University of
Next tonight, we go over to Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Winter weather is returning. Nothing crazy, nothing we can't handle, but it's been a while, so I think it's going to feel worse, even though if this was a normal, if this was the middle of January, we probably wouldn't even bat an eyelash. But what are we talking about here? Well, we have a wintry mix expected tomorrow afternoon, and that could make a few slippery spots across the area. The National Weather Service has highlighted Herkimer, Hamilton, and Fulton counties for a winter weather advisory, but this is something that I think most of the area will see. It's just those counties in particular will see more of that. Again, the possibility of some light icing taking place tomorrow. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We do have some activity on the radar. A lot of this is not reaching the ground, and we think that it does stay dry this evening. We have some dry air in place. Current temperature is 29 degrees or weather headlines. It's cloudy and generally dry tonight. We will see some light snow tomorrow morning. That transitions over to rain. And again, as it does so, it also could mix in with some sleet, freezing rain, making for a few slippery spots. Rain is expected on tomorrow night, followed by some snow on Friday. This evening, cloudy skies, temperatures in the 20s. Again, we're tracking the next weather maker and how it impacts the drive. Look at your forecasts coming up. Back over to you.
It was a bumpy start to the day for
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We are tracking some active weather returning to central New York. Some slippery spots to be had, especially tomorrow afternoon. Let's take a live look outside. This is Old Forge. Notice some twilight It's not completely dark, at least not in this image, at 5:15. Days are getting slightly longer across the region. We've gained about 21 minutes of daylight at the end of the day. We're starting to notice that in parts of central New York. Of course, on cloudy days like this, it's a little bit harder compared to when we have clear skies. Traveling on Thursday will be most impacted in the afternoon. We're talking about a wintry mix, and we will see a few very light snow showers early, but as we head into the afternoon, a wintry mix takes place. This turns over to heavy rain, and while we don't expect any slippery spots for the drive home, the rain could still have an impact on the drive. Some ponding on roadways possible into tomorrow night as well. Let's take a look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, and what we're seeing across the area is, again, some light snow showers taking place, and we can see this across areas like Rome to Utica. This is not actually reaching the ground. The reason why is we have some very dry air in place in the lower levels, so this will hold off for now, but we will continue to keep an eye on this as we head into tonight. Some light snow showers will be breaking out towards tomorrow morning. Temperatures are below freezing. Whitesboro 28 degrees, Dolgeville 28, Inlet 26, Big Moose 24. Across southern valleys, Cooperstown 33, Schenevus 31, and Sherburne checking in with 35 degrees. Taking the dog out for a walk this evening. The weather should be nice. We're dry. Temperatures will be in the upper 20s. And we're looking at, again, pretty quiet weather. Tonight's featured dog is Chica from East Herkimer. And if you want to be part of this, head to Bill's Buddies on Facebook. As we look at our Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, the weather stays dry tonight. Temperatures will remain below freezing. 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, some scattered snow showers are possible. We could see a brief wintry mix tomorrow afternoon as warmer air begins to build into the region. North and east of Utica, some light snow is possible. We actually could see a very light accumulation here. Again, some slippery spots tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. A transition over to rain is expected as we head into tomorrow night, and it's going to be a cold rain first thing Friday morning, but then this turns over to some snow showers as we head into Friday afternoon and Friday evening, and a very light accumulation is possible heading into Friday afternoon. Again, very little snowfall is expected over the next couple of days, but that doesn't mean it won't accumulate to at least something. Most of us, again, a dusting. Cloudy tonight down to 24. Wintry mix tomorrow afternoon, a high of 37. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Rain turns back over to snow Friday. An early high of 40. It gets cold over the weekend, but seasonably cold. A return to sunshine Saturday and Sunday. And then we start to warm up with some rain showers in the forecast Tuesday and Wednesday. And coming up in a few minutes, we're going to highlight the areas that are most likely to see a light icing tomorrow.
Bill, thank you.
Thanks. At least 17 people are dead, and officials in California worry that number will climb as storms continue to dump rain across the state.
Evacuations continue. Forecasters warning these storms could continue for another full week. Here's reporter Jay Gray.
Soaked and suffering. Communities across California swallowed by floodwaters, torrential storms, tearing apart hillsides, creating mudslides.
It was like 2 feet of mud and water coming down the street and out of the houses, so it was pretty scary.
In other areas, the streets filled with rushing water, scattering debris, trees and power lines pushed to the ground.
And we started packing and getting ready, and we were looking out the window, and then we saw the bridge go. And when that bridge went, there's no way out.
Rescue teams working around the clock to pull families from the dangerous conditions.
It scared us. I've never been through anything like this before.
And forecasters warn it could get worse.
We expect these storms to continue at least through the 18th of this month.
Many unwilling or unable to wait and see what the next round of storms may bring.
Right now, I think the only thing we could probably do is evacuate and let the water calm down by itself, because, I mean, we have no control over the rain.
Rain that just doesn't seem to stop. Jay Gray, NBC News.
Coming up, we have news from the organizers of Youth happening tomorrow at the East Herkimer Volunteer Fire Department. You have to sign up ahead of time, and we have the information on our website. We are told this is a course everyone should be taking to prepare for potential emergencies. You will learn how to prepare by making a supply kit or developing an emergency plan, and how to recover from any emergency situation.
New York State is vulnerable to a wide range of, potential emergencies and disasters, anything from home fires to a severe weather event, certainly that we've seen impact the state of late. So it really covers those natural hazards, the weather-related ones that we know of, but also technological, human-caused, and biological disasters.
The class is free, and again, you have to register ahead of time.
Let's get you back to the Weather Center. Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis talking freezing rain.
And why we're getting ice as opposed to just rain or snow. Why is ice getting involved here? And to do that, we're going to go in 3D here. We talk about different precipitation types. It's all about warm air starting to work in. So we've got cold air at the surface. When warm air starts to arrive, it first arrives upstairs in the atmosphere, and that causes rain to fall into cold air. So you've got this clash between warm air upstairs and cold air downstairs, and that is why we see ice. Sleet freezes before it hits the ground. Freezing rain freezes on the ground, and it can make things quite icy. I wanted to highlight areas that are most likely to see either sleet or freezing rain. It's generally north and east of Utica tomorrow afternoon. The numbers here don't mean anything necessarily. Hard to conceptualize 5/100ths of an inch versus 3/100ths of an inch. But the point here is that if there's any numbers on the screen, even a very small amount could still make things slippery. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar showing snow on the radar, but not necessarily reaching the ground. It looks cloudy this evening. We are tracking some snow tomorrow morning, and again, it turns over to a little bit of sleet and freezing rain tomorrow afternoon. Look at your forecasts coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Today marks 2 months before the Utica's
most dependable weather team. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. Welcome back. We continue to track cloudy weather this evening. We saw some sunshine earlier today, and that was nice. You don't get too much sun this time of the year. It's a live look in Cooperstown. From our Utica National Tower Cam. Things are looking more active on the radar than they actually are. What we're seeing here is precipitation that's falling aloft. We call this virga. And so what you're seeing on the radar here is not actually reaching the ground. We'll take a closer look at this anyway. Again, this is falling into dry air. We will see some snow showers from this as we head into tonight and tomorrow. The winds will be picking up too. This is all in advance of low pressure that works in from the west. It's going to be a windy stretch of weather tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday before the winds subside as we look ahead to Sunday. Sky watchers checking in below freezing. Curtis Corners 25, Middleville 26, New Hartford 28 degrees, West Leyden 26. Across Southern Valleys, Newport 29, Cooperstown 32, and Worcester Carroll checking in with 31 degrees. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast. Tonight it's cloudy. Overnight lows remain below freezing. We'll see some snow showers as we head into tomorrow morning. 8 o'clock, temperatures in the upper 20s. This mixes with sleet and freezing rain, a very brief period of that tomorrow afternoon. That can make the roads slippery, especially north and east of Utica. So if you're traveling tomorrow afternoon, just keep that in mind. There could be some slippery spots. 5 p.m., a wet drive home for most of us. Still some lingering snow in pockets of the Adirondacks, and that snow could accumulate to an inch or two by tomorrow evening. That's not going to be the case for most of us. I think we'll just see a coating of snow. And then, of course, with the rain happening tomorrow night, a lot of this is going to melt. Temperatures will continue to climb above freezing tomorrow night as rain comes to an end. Friday morning, we start out with temperatures in the upper 30s, and then some colder air will sweep in from the west. We do see a changeover from rain back to snow Friday afternoon and Friday evening. This could produce a trace to an inch of accumulation during the day Friday, so not a very large impact here, but it could be just enough to whiten things up after the rain that we're expecting tomorrow night. Tonight, cloudy, low of 24. Tomorrow, looking at that wintry mix taking place in the afternoon, a high of 37. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Rain turns back to snow as we head into Friday. Again, a light accumulation. The weather over the weekend looks cold. Saturday, Sunday, sunshine, temperatures in the 20s to low 30s. Overnight lows down into the lower teens and upper single digits. We're dry on Monday, and then some scattered rain showers arrive on Tuesday and Wednesday. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're tracking how this wintry mix affects the morning and evening drive. Stay with us.
At 6, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
We are tracking the next weather maker moving into central New York, and this could cause a few slippery spots heading into tomorrow afternoon. We're talking about a wintry mix, snow turning over to a brief period of sleet and freezing rain, and this will most likely impact areas north and east of Utica the most, although we're not talking about a lot of ice here. The National Weather Service has Herkimer, Hamilton, Fulton counties under a winter weather advisory. These areas seeing the higher chances of this happening. But again, I think this could be a happening across most of central New York briefly tomorrow afternoon. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It looks busy, but in reality, it's cloudy. A lot of that precipitation being detected by radar is not making it to the ground because the air is dry. Current temperature is 29 degrees. Our weather headlines, it's cloudy and generally dry tonight. Some light snow will be developing here late tonight. A few slippery spots are expected tomorrow as that transition from snow to rain takes place. And rain is expected to be followed by snow as we head into Friday. Cloudy skies this evening, temperatures in the 20s. We're taking a look at how this impacts the morning and evening commute tomorrow, and that's coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Decision 2023, a third candidate
for New York's most dependable weather team. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're tracking a generally pleasant evening across central New York, cold and cloudy. Let's take a live look at our Utica National Tower Cam overlooking Cooperstown. If you are traveling this evening, the weather should be fine, but that is going to change tomorrow. We have a wintry mix on the way. It starts out as snow in the morning, not expecting to have a big impact on the drive. But by the afternoon, some of this mixes in with sleet and freezing rain that could make a few slippery spots, generally north and east of Utica. Any wintry mix turns over to rain by the evening drive, so it's a wet drive home from work, and the weather will remain wet heading into tomorrow night. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Again, we're looking at precipitation across the area, but this is not reaching the ground. This is running into some very dry air, and in fact, as we look out to the west, we can see that this isn't very much precipitation, so I do think we are dry this evening and into tonight. As we look at our sky watchers across the area, Old Fort's 27 degrees, Curtis Corners 25, Middleville 29 degrees. Across the southern valleys, below freezing this evening, Cooperstown 32, Richfield 28, and Cassville checking in with 28 degrees. On our Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, the next weather maker approaches by tomorrow morning, bringing us some light snow for the morning commute. Again, very light, not expected to cause any big problems on the roadways. Temperatures start out below freezing. A light wintry mix is possible as snow transitions over to rain heading into tomorrow afternoon. This will be most noticeable north of the Mohawk Valley, where the snow will linger a little bit longer, and there could be a better chance of that mixing taking place. By 5 p.m., temperatures are above freezing for most areas, with the exception of the Adirondacks, where an inch or two of snow could fall throughout the day tomorrow, again mixing in with some light icing here. Very light accumulation of snow elsewhere. About a coating is to be expected heading into tomorrow evening. Of course, with rain in the forecast tomorrow night, a lot of that is going to melt. Temperatures will continue to rise overnight. By Friday morning, 8 a.m., temperatures will be near 40 degrees. Rain does turn back over to snow on Friday. It's expected to fall generally light Friday afternoon and into Friday evening as temperatures fall below freezing. More accumulation of snow is possible Friday. Again, very light here, thinking a general trace to an inch of accumulation throughout the day. Tonight, cloudy down to 24. Tomorrow, snow turning over to a brief wintry mix, a high temperature of 37. Again, do watch out for a slippery spot or two, especially north and east of Utica. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Rain turns back to snow Friday, an early high of 40. It is a lot colder over the weekend. Saturday's high 25. We're into the teens and single digits Saturday night. We should see some sunshine though, especially Sunday 32. Up to 40 on Monday. Showers in the forecast Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll be right back.
Preparedness training course. It's happening tomorrow at the East Herkimer Volunteer Fire Company. You do have time to sign up right at WKTV.com. We have a link there. We're told the course prepares individuals for potential emergencies, flooding, blizzards, active shooters, pandemics. You're going to learn how to prepare by making a supply kit and an emergency plan, and how to recover from any emergency situation.
New York State is vulnerable to a wide range of, potential emergencies and disasters, anything from home fires to a severe weather event, certainly that we've seen impact the state of late. So it really covers those natural hazards, the weather-related ones that we know of, but also technological, human-caused, and biological disasters.
The 3-hour course is free, but again, you have to register, and you can do so at WKTV.com.
Coming up, Spencer's live at the Adirondacks tonight. We bring in Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. So not a lot going on right now, but it doesn't take much for things to get out of control.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight some of the projections tomorrow for ice. A little bit of sleet, a little bit of freezing rain. These are the areas we're talking about. It's basically north and east of Utica.
Okay.
Couple of slippery spots to be had on the roadways. Just something to keep in mind for tomorrow afternoon. We have a winter weather advisory in effect for Herkimer, Fulton, Montgomery counties, Hamilton County, I should say, not Montgomery. We are tracking the possibility of a little bit of ice here as we head into the day tomorrow. Counties outside of the winter weather advisory, generally talking about snow changing over to rain, but even in these areas, I can't rule out a brief period of sleet or freezing rain. Our current temperature, or at least our conditions outside, I should say, on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. A couple of flurries showing up here tonight, but that's not going to cause too much of a concern. That's not going to cause any issues on the roadways. Temperature-wise, we're 29 degrees, and temperatures are basically going to stay the same tonight with cloud cover. We're down into the mid to upper 20s. Again, a couple of flurries are possible. We're tracking a very light wintry mix. Tomorrow, this switches over to rain. Pretty active forecast here, at least for the next 2 days. So look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Decision 22 Weather Wednesday. Meteorologist Eric Gage joins us now with an explanation of what nor'easters are and how they form. Good evening, Eric.
Good evening, Jason. Time for another edition of Weather Wednesdays. It's winter season and it's nor'easter season. The Northeast usually sees a few of these every winter, and tonight I'll explain first how a low pressure cyclone forms and then how these turn into nor'easters. Starting off, back on the big picture where all weather starts, let's take a look at the jet stream, the current of winds way up in the atmosphere. Basically, there are two modes of the jet stream, flat and variable. When winds are flat, weather systems are generally weak and fast moving. When winds become variable, ripples start to form. Now, near the surface, due to this kink in the jet stream, winds start rotating near the surface. This rotation forms a center of low pressure. Centers of low pressure can strengthen from two sources, difference in temperature and warm tropical air. Those that get their strength from warm tropical air are called warm core cyclones. These are what hurricanes are classified as. Nor'easters are opposite. These are cold core cyclones, meaning that the sharper the difference in temperature across the cyclone, the stronger the storm. So now that you know about low pressure formation, nor'easters are a specific type of low pressure that forms when the jet stream dips over all of the Northeast. Due to surface rotation, a low pressure develops off the coast. This starts to drag warm tropical air full of moisture into the Northeast. As the air gets forced inland, it gets lifted over the cold air on the other side, since warm air is less dense than cold air, and that causes snow to fall. So nor'easters stand for, you guessed it, northeaster. Northeaster stands for winds coming from the northeast over the northeast U.S. Try saying that 10 times fast. Anyways, nor'easters range from wet nor'easters to white nor'easters, and temperatures play a vital role in the difference. Wet nor'easters have most of the heavy precipitation fall as rain, whereas white nor'easters have the heaviest precipitation fall as snow. Join me again next week for another edition of Weather Wednesdays. Back to you, Jason.
Eric, good stuff. Thanks very much. Taking a live look now at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. As Bill said, there's some flurries out there right now. He's tracking those, and what we can expect tomorrow is full forecast coming up.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We are taking a live look outside overlooking the city of Utica. This is our CAV Tower Cam. Weather conditions looking pretty quiet tonight. We do have some flurries in the air, and we'll have a few flurries first thing tomorrow morning. Here's how the weather will impact your travel over the next 24 hours. Some snow showers in the morning, not expecting any big issues getting to work or school. As we get into the afternoon, some snow turns over to a light wintry mix for parts of the area. That could make things slippery in parts of central New York. But again, this is not going to have a major impact on travel. The evening and overnight, we're talking about a heavy rain. Again, slowing you down, some potting on roadways. But again, nothing super heavy, nothing that's going to cause any big impacts here across central New York. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. And this light area of precipitation is falling in some flurries. So we are starting to see that reach the ground. The weather over the next 24 hours is going to be quite unsettled as we look at our Storm Tracker 2 Skycast. Again, cloudy skies tonight. Temperatures will fall into the 20s first thing tomorrow morning. We do have some snow that will break out first thing Thursday, but notice as we head into Thursday afternoon, temperatures are going to warm up. There's a push of warmer air starting to work in. And by 5 p.m., notice how different the colors look. You have some snow taking place to the north and east of Utica. Inlet speculators seeing some snow showers, but in the lower elevations, we're noticing more in the way of some rain. You can see Utica 35 degrees, Herkimer 35. Temperatures will continue to warm up as we head into tomorrow evening too. So we're going to see a switch over to some rain showers. 1 to 3 inches of snow is possible during the day tomorrow along higher elevations north and east of Utica. Some icing taking place too. Now, the remainder of the area, the Mohawk Valley, the Southern Valley, is looking at about a trace to an inch of snowfall. This, of course, will also be melting pretty quickly as temperatures continue to rise. Friday morning, temperatures start out in the upper 30s, rain early. Then we do see a return to snow as colder air works in from the west. And we should see some accumulating snow as we head into Friday afternoon and Friday evening. And thinking at this point, a trace to an inch of accumulation is in the cards across most of central New York. So just enough to whiten the ground after yet another rain event. Cloudy skies tonight down to 24 degrees. Tomorrow we're looking at a wintry mix against some tricky travel here and there. Temperatures in the upper 30s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Rain changes back to snow on Friday, an early high of 40. It's cold over the weekend, but we see a return to sunshine. Saturday's high 25. We're into the teens at night. Sunday's high 32. We're up to 40 on Monday, and then some showers return Tuesday and Wednesday.
I'm probably in the minority, but I'd almost rather see the sun in 20s at this point. We could just use some vitamin D.
We saw it a little bit earlier, but it didn't last long enough.
No, exactly. All right, thanks, Bill. Coming up next, the forecast tonight. We could bring in Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis, and we're talking about what's happening tomorrow with regards to ice accumulation. It only takes a little to make the roads slick, right?
And yeah, this is one of our computer models. We use this to kind of guide us with the forecast. And this is highlighting areas north and east of Utica for some light sleet, freezing rain. This is happening as colder air gets dislodged, and as that warmer air works in, we see this mixing that takes place in the lower levels. So do be careful on the roads tomorrow in the afternoon. I'm not expecting this to be a big travel issue. It's not going to be heavy, but as Jason mentioned, and it's always worth emphasizing, even a very small amount of sleet or freezing rain could make the roads very slippery. And that's why the National Weather Service has a winter weather advisory for Herkimer, Hamilton, and northern Fulton counties during the day tomorrow. As we take a live look outside, we have a few light snow showers that are falling. It's a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Little snow accumulation is expected, although we could have just enough to coat the ground tomorrow before some warmer air works in. Current temperature is 29 degrees, an east-southeast wind at 10 miles an hour out of those are the conditions out of Griffiths. We're cloudy tonight, we're down to 24. Light freezing rain possible tomorrow. Most of this falls as rain tomorrow night. We're taking a look at how much rain we can expect and also what's to follow. That's coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Decision 2023, a third to Weather Wednesday time. Meteorologist Eric Gage joins us now with an explanation of what nor'easters are and how they form. Good evening, Eric.
Good evening, Jason. Time for another edition of Weather Wednesdays. It's winter season and it's nor'easter season. The Northeast usually sees a few of these every winter, and tonight I'll explain first how a low pressure cyclone forms and then how these turn into nor'easters. Starting off, back on the big picture where all weather starts, let's take a look at the jet stream, the current of winds way up in the atmosphere. Basically, there are two modes of the jet stream, flat and variable. When winds are flat, weather systems are generally weak and fast moving. When winds become variable, ripples start to form. Now, near the surface, due to this kink in the jet stream, winds start rotating near the surface. This rotation forms a center of low pressure. Centers of low pressure can strengthen from two sources, difference in temperature and warm tropical air. Those that get their strength from warm tropical air are called warm core cyclones. These are what hurricanes are classified as. Nor'easters are opposite. These are cold core cyclones, meaning that the sharper the difference in temperature across the cyclone, the stronger the storm. So now that you know about low pressure formation, nor'easters are a specific type of low pressure that forms when the jet stream dips over all of the Northeast. Due to surface rotation, a low pressure develops off the coast. This starts to drag warm tropical air full of moisture into the Northeast. As the air gets forced inland, it gets lifted over the cold air on the other side, since warm air is less dense than cold air, and that causes snow to fall. So nor'easters stand for, you guessed it, northeaster. Northeaster stands for winds coming from the northeast over the northeast U.S. Try saying that 10 times fast. Anyways, nor'easters range from wet nor'easters to white nor'easters, and temperatures play a vital role in the difference. Wet nor'easters have most of the heavy precipitation fall as rain, whereas white nor'easters have the heaviest precipitation fall as snow. Join me again next week for another edition of Weather Wednesdays. Back to you, Jason.
All right, Professor, thanks very much. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, your full forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis coming up next.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look outside. This is our Cavite Tower Cam overlooking the city of Utica. Pretty quiet night out there. We are getting a few snow showers on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. These are moving to the east. These are extremely light. Might see a coating of snow on the ground tomorrow morning. But for the most part, we're expecting the majority of the next storm's precipitation to fall as rain. Before it makes this transition to rain, we might see a late wintry mix. So some snow showers in the morning, very low impact on the morning drive. Wintry mix, a small impact on the drive. The concern would be mainly north and east of Utica. The evening and also tomorrow night, heavy rain. Not heavy enough to cause flooding, but heavy enough to cause some ponding on the roadways, and also enough to kind of slow you down. So that will impact the evening drive as well as tomorrow night. So you look at the radar and satellite image, again, some flurries moving through the area this evening. The bigger picture shows weak storm system to the west. This is the leading edge of a push of some warmer weather. You can see the transition from snow to rain, but notice a little bit of pink here too. That is some sleet and freezing rain, and that's what we're concerned about here as we head into tomorrow for a small chance of that happening. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, again, some snow showers are possible late tonight into early tomorrow. Light accumulation first thing in the morning. 8 a.m. temperatures will be in the upper 20s. Some light snow takes place in the late morning to early afternoon. Some of this mixes in with some sleet and freezing rain, again, primarily north and east of Utica. By 5 p.m., most of us are above freezing, which means any precipitation turns over to a cold rain. And the rain will continue as we head into tomorrow night. Before it makes this transition, there could be some light snowfall, but calling for 1 to 3 inches of snow accumulation north and east of Utica, traced to an inch across the Mohawk Valley and southern valleys. Rain tomorrow night, coming down steady, sometimes heavy. As we head into Friday morning, still some rain in the morning, but we do expect a transition over to snow. So rain turns back to snow Friday. Some light snow Friday afternoon and Friday evening, with temperatures cooling down from 40 degrees in the morning to the low 30s by the afternoon. A trace to an inch of snow is expected during the day Friday. Again, a very small amount of accumulation, but just enough to make things white again after yet another rainfall. Speaking of rain, a general ½ inch to 1 inch of rain is expected as we get into tomorrow night and early Friday. Cloudy skies tonight down to 24. Tomorrow, light snow showers in the morning, a light wintry mix in the afternoon. This turns over to rain by later in the day. So a lot of stuff is happening tomorrow. High of 37. Thankfully, it's not going to be really heavy, so I don't think this is going to have a big impact on travel. Rain turns back to snow on Friday to high temperature of 40 degrees. It's cold. It's dry over the weekend. We see some much needed sunshine, and that's where weather will return early next week.
Could use some of that sun right about
now. It's been so cloudy.
Days and days. All right, thanks, Bill. Coming up next, the latest on another